can see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Dean's List coming at you on a Wednesday. This time it is a Wednesday. This is a wonderful Commonwealth beer that I just picked up from my local homebrew store. And I think I have some more of those, some more Commonwealth beers stuck around here somewhere. I got to figure out where they are. So did a brewing thing last weekend. Actually, it was on Sunday. Yeah. So first of all, most important, my son came home from Christopher, Newport, and came to visit, and we had a wonderful weekend. And it was his first time taking a train by himself, so he took the Amtrak down, and that went really well, except for the fact that he left his suitcase full of clothes in the lift that took him to the train station. So had to do some unexpected clothes shopping when he got down, but luckily all his valuables, laptop, all that stuff was in his backpack that he carries on his person. So good on him, and his phone, because that would have been a tragedy. But it's so easy. He stops right here and in our town, and go pick him up at the train station. Very, very easy deal, and it's pretty cheap too. He gets a student discount, and so I think we're going to be seeing more of him. Maybe a weekend a month he might hop down on the train. So that's cool. And we were like puppy dogs following around. You really miss those little guys when they go away. So so he was down. We did a little dinner together and watched some comedy, and just had some good bonding, dad son time. It was a great weekend. And it was just fun for the whole family. But I also brewed on Sunday, and that was an Imperial Porter, which is a lot more Imperial than I bargained for. I was expecting 8.5% beer. I got really good efficiency out of the grain crush. I'll show some brewing footage video, but I just checked the gravity. I brewed on Sunday. It's now Wednesday, so it's been at it 3 days, chomping away. I put the big blow-off tube. Maybe I'll show some video of that. Rather than, I didn't do pressure fermentation, just a regular ale. But the conical, man, it just freaking chowed through it. It was bubbling in a couple of hours, and I now just checked the gravity. It went from 1085 down to 1016, so I now have a 9.3% ABV porter. I was trying to think if I should age it in the barrel. Man, I don't know. Maybe I still should, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to wait that long. So I guess I'll let it sit there and kind of clean out for the next week. Drop all the yeast out. I'm gonna save the yeast on this one because it's a clean yeast. It's Imperial's flagship, so I can use that over and over again. It's so easy to pull yeast from a stainless steel conical, so there's no reason not to save the yeast. So I'm gonna end up with a lot of yeast. I'm gonna have to do a lot of brewing this year. So anyway, so that's that, and so I just had a lot of beer. Told you I went to my local homebrew store, and he was getting a beer shipment in. As I was getting ready to leave, I picked up my brewing supplies for the porter, and he's like, hey, I recommend you go sit in your car and wait for 15 minutes. I got an interesting beer shipment that I just think pulled up. So he came in, a bunch of resident culture and some other cool stuff, some sours, some fest beers, and I bought a ton of beer off him. So it's going to keep me busy for a while. So that was fun. If you get a chance, if you're in... what is it? Is it Annandale? Annandale? Man, I should know the town. It's right there near the Seven Corners, next to Dogfish Head Brew Pub. I think that's Annandale. If not, I'll have to correct this. But yeah, sorry about that. And so anyway, so that's that. That was kind of got me off my game. So. So anyway, so I'm thinking maybe I do put it in a barrel, but I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to wait that long. But got some good news. Got a good buddy and his wife. They're going to come, actually buddies. They're going to come visit the Dean's List here in the next couple of weeks, so we can do the do a beer festival. It's hopefully we turn this into an annual tradition. So very, very, very excited about that. Dean's List always loves when it gets company, especially from the brew tuber community. So for the home brewer community. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Loving the weather starting to try to get kind of cool, I guess. There's pumpkins out. It's that kind of year. I like it. Sweater weather. Have yourself this is a quick one. Have yourself a happy homebrew and have a very, very happy Homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. Hope you enjoy the brewing footage. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. So it's a Sunday and I'm doing a porter. Kind of like a Baltic porter, but it's with ale yeast because my homebrew shop didn't have lager yeast for a porter, but at least the one I was looking for. But I'm going to use Independence, not Independence. I'm going to use the flagship from Imperial. I think that'll be a good. Could have used Darkness, but I think I'll try the flagship on this one. So about 13 pounds of grain. Most of the color comes from chocolate rye, and a little bit of, I guess it was about 12 ounces of chocolate rye, a quarter ounce of black debittered malt, and some amber malt, less than a pound of amber malt, about 12 ounces, or not 12, yeah, 12 ounces. And what else I put in there? Some Victory, a little bit of Victory, about a pound, a little less than a pound, and then 10 pounds of Vienna and 3 pounds of Munich, light Munich. So that's the grain bill. Using flagship Imperial, and then for hops I've got a little less than an ounce of Magnum, and then I think I'm using East Kent Goldings at 10. Is it 10 minutes? I think 10 minutes. So also I got my new G4. This will be the first ale in the G4 fermenter. I've got it sanitizing right now, and I came up with a fix. Last time in my Homebrew Wednesday I was talking about the fact that I wasn't able to get enough volume in the fermenter. It's a 7-gallon fermenter, but I got way less, probably 4.5 gallons in it, because I think I had to use a longer hose because my pump is down here and I have to go up to the top of that fermenter, and it's on casters now. I got some casters that came in since last time I brewed, so I can roll that thing around. It's pretty nice. But what I decided to do was, rather than trying to adjust, and I talked to SJ, and SJ's, why don't you just adjust your volume on Beersmith, and then you'll have to get a little bit more grain. I think what I'm going to do instead is I've got 2 buckets that are sanitized, so I will go old school, put it into the buckets, and then I'll be able to splosh back and forth for the oxygenation, and then I will leave half of the batch in each bucket, so I'm only putting about a little less than 3 gallons in at a time, and that much, I'll be able to lift it up easily and pour it into the top of the fermenter. So that's my plan. I think it's a good one, and we'll see how the brew day goes. Cheers. That's gonna have a nice brown head on it. That's what I want. Look at that. That is gonna be nice. All right, man, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh yeah. All right, so this brew day has turned out to be a great brew day. Look at that. Man, that chocolate rye and the debittered black just was perfect amounts. It's exactly the color I wanted. I'm gonna love this. Okay, so just pour the buckets into the fermenter, and I'm covering up the top of the 6-gallon line, so I'm just over 6 gallons of a 1086 OG beer. This is going to be a good one. All right. Good thing I have the blow-off tube attachment. What do you think, man? Cool. Okay, so no pressure on this one. This is a ale, so I'm just gonna let it go. But I did put the fitting on there rather than the spunding valve. This is the blow-off tube fitting. So I'll put that on, and look at this. I had to rig up had to stack the buckets to be as tall as the and that is a massive blow-off tube. You know, I don't know what you call it, cup. Look at that. I just said, I tried to put this pitcher inside the cup, and it didn't work. So I said, let me just throw some sanitizer in there and just make that one big ass blow-off tube bucket. So yeah, this is probably going to be close to a 9%er, I guess. A little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, but hey, I'm happy with it. Check this out. It's only been a couple hours.